Hey NC fam, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Novella. I am the face, the voice behind Naturally Crowned UK, and on this channel you will find kids natural hair care tips, advice and tutorials to help you on your little one's natural hair journey. I want your little one's hair to thrive. I want it to be healthy. I want it to retain moisture, retain length and all of that good stuff. So on this channel you're going to find everything you need in order to help your little one's natural hair journey be a success. And that brings me on to today's video. Today's video is all about my 5-stage natural hair success path that is going to help you achieve moisture and length retention for your little one. Before we get started, Crown Mothers United, yes, my membership is open for enrollment. It is open for enrollment today, but today is the last day, guys. Today's the last day for enrollment. Some of you may have heard me talk about Crown Mothers United before, my membership, and if you haven't, Crown Mothers United is something that I am so proud of. This is a membership of amazing moms who are killing it. Honestly, they are achieving amazing results with their little ones and natural hair. I'm going to show you just a snippet of what some of the moms are achieving with their little ones hair by being in this membership. If you check here and here, you're going to see some of their amazing pictures. Now this membership is going to help you also achieve results with your little one's hair. If you're dealing with dryness, breakage, balding, stunted growth, no matter what the case may be when it comes to your little one's natural hair, this membership is able to help you to take your little one's hair from where it is today to where you want it to be. Honestly, in this membership I share my 5-stage success path that I'm going to be sharing with you in a second, but I go into in so much more detail. The 5-stage success path is what is helping these moms achieve amazing results. Now what you get in this membership is access to me, your coach. We have live Q&A sessions, monthly Q&A sessions. We have live hair audit calls. We have master classes for you to, up your knowledge when it comes to natural hair care. We have guest appearances to also help you to increase your knowledge. I like to invite professionals to come on and speak to the mothers in my membership. This helps them to improve on their knowledge even more. We have trichologists, dermatologists, you name it. We have different guests come and pour into the mothers in the membership, and you also get access to the private Telegram group for messaging each other, for accountability, for support. Trust me guys, this membership is amazing and I want you to be part of this membership. So if you are game and you want to be part of this membership, all you need to do is to click the link below this video and you'll be able to get access to the membership. And remember, the membership is only open today. Today is the last day for enrollment, so if you want to join this amazing family, Crown Mothers United, that's all you need to do. Okay, so let's get into the rest of the video. So the first stage in the success path, which is going to help you achieve moisture and length retention, just overall healthy hair for your child. The first stage is to understand what you are working with. If you don't know what you're working with, how are you supposed to care for something that you have no understanding of? So it's really important to understand what are you working with. So for example, we need to understand your little one's hair type. That's really important, and that's the first stage in the natural hair success path. So understand your little one's hair type. So for example, my son has high density hair. So let's look at density. Density is the amount of hair your little one has on their head. So individual strands, the amount of individual strands they have on their head. So do they have a full head of hair? High density, that's a lot of strands, a lot of hair. Do they have low density hair? So that's not too many strands of their head, very scanty. You can see a lot of scalp. With high density, you can't see any scalp at all, or little to no scalp at all. Then we have medium density. You can see a little bit of scalp, but not as much as low density. Those are the 3 stages, right? By the way, if you want to know more about hair type, click the link below this video and you'll be able to access my hair type guide. In a hair type guide, I go into even more detail on how to identify your little one's hair type. Okay, so let's go into my example. So for example, my son, he has high density hair. You've seen his wash day videos. He has a lot of hair. Now for example, on wash day, when I'm detangling his hair, I need to work in sections. Now for his hair, because he has high density hair, I need to work in about 20 sections when I am detangling his hair. So by the time I finish detangling his hair, I have ended up with 20 sections. Now for example, for me, I have medium density hair. Medium density, so I can get away with detangling my hair in about 8 to 10 sections. That's all I really need and I'm good. But with my son, 8 to 10 sections isn't going to cut it because he has so much hair, so I have to work in 20 sections. Now because I'm working in sections for my son's hair, in about 20 sections, there is minimal breakage because I'm taking my time working in sections. So again, when you understand your child's density, the amount of hair they have on their head, for example, you will know how to deal with their hair, in particular when you're detangling their hair. Another example for you, their strand thickness. This is something good for you to know, their individual strand thickness. If you understand your child's individual strand thickness, you will, for example, be able to tell what kind of products to use, what kind of consistency to use. So for example, my son, once again, he has thick individual strands. So for him, I can use several layers. I can use a leave-in, I can use a cream, and then I can use a butter on top, like you've seen when I'm moisturizing his hair. Because he has thick strands, his hair can take more layers. However, if your little one has very fine individual strands, their hair can't take that many layers. It will just weigh their hair down. So using a leave-in, using a cream, and then using the butter is just way too much for their hair. Understanding your little one's individual strand thickness will be able to help you in terms of your product selection, or how much of the product to use on your little one's hair, or how many layers to use on your little one's hair. Another example for you, and the importance of understanding your little one's hair type and what you're actually working with, is, for example, their strand thickness. Once again, if they have very thin individual strands, thin individual strands break off very easily in comparison to someone like my son who has very thick individual strands. Just because they're thick doesn't mean it isn't going to break off. If I'm rough, it still will break off. However, someone that has very thin individual strands, it's more easy for their strands to break off. Be gentle when you're detangling the hair. You need to be aware of certain tools you're using to prevent breakage, and also certain hairstyles you're doing. For example, if you're doing tight cornrows with extensions, certain hairstyles, those that have very thin individual strands, remember their strands break off very easily, so they can't take too much tension. So you need to be careful of what kind of styles you're doing. I have a lot of clients who, you know, in the past they used to do a lot of cornrows even with their children's own hair, but when they do certain styles or do the cornrows, they notice that their little ones get a lot of bumps, and then when they take out the style, they notice that their little ones get a lot of breakage. And I found that when I'm speaking with those particular clients, they have very fine, thin individual strands. Breakage is very easy when it comes to those that have a very thin individual strands. So as you can see, it's really important to understand what you're working with. When you understand what you're working with, you understand what kind of styles to do. You understand, you know, if you should be using a layering method like the LLCO method like I use for my son, or because they have very thin individual strands, to use just probably like a light liquid as a leave-in, and then maybe seal it with a butter or an oil that way, because they have very fine individual strands. So that's going to help you to understand how to care for your little ones. So the second stage is understanding product types. Now a lot of you are obsessed with products. You're looking for that magical one product that's going to grow your child's hair, and there isn't. Unfortunately, there isn't a product that's going to grow your child's hair, because guess what, your child's hair is growing regardless. What we need to focus on is product type. types. So the types of products you need in your little one's regime. So when I say product types, I'm not talking about specific brands in general. I am talking about the types of products. So for example, your shampoos, your cleansing shampoos, something that you're going to use on a weekly basis. Your clarifying shampoos, something that you're going to use every 4 to 6 weeks. I'm talking about your leave-in conditioners, your creams, your deep conditioners, whether it be protein or moisture based. These are all product types. So it's important for you to understand the function of the product type in order to meet your little one's hair needs. So that, I hope that makes sense. Understanding product types, which product type and function as well is also important. What is the function of this product type? Is it going to cleanse? Is it going to cleanse my little one's hair? Is it going to clarify my little one's hair? Is it a protein treatment that's going to strengthen my little one's hair? Is it just a moisture based treatment that's just going to add that boost of moisture to my little one's hair? Understanding the function, the type of products will help you to understand where to place it in your little one's regime, rather than just being a product junkie, just finding, you know, the latest product on the market, or based on advice from friends or family members. When you understand the function of each product type and the actual product type you need, you'll be able to pick products that are going to help with moisture and length retention. Because like I said earlier on, products do not grow hair. Products help with the maintenance of your child's hair. It helps with the maintenance, it helps to soften your child's hair. Of course, if your child's hair is soft, it is retaining moisture. If your child's hair is retaining moisture, it's also going to retain length. The third stage in my natural hair success path is understanding product ingredients. Now, product ingredients are really important to understand. Of course, you are not a product formulator or a cosmetic chemist, so you don't need to understand product ingredients like they do. However, a basic understanding of product ingredients is going to go a long way, in particular when you're picking certain products, especially if you're looking for moisture retention. You need to understand certain ingredients. So for example, if you're looking for a shampoo, you need to understand your surfactant. So for example, sodium lauryl sulfate, this is a sulfate based surfactant, so a detergent that's going to cleanse your little one's hair. However, sodium lauryl sulfate is quite harsh on the hair and on the scalp, especially for your little one's hair and scalp. So this is not something that you want to be using on a weekly basis. I wouldn't even recommend it for your newborn, for example. But for your older children, you know, for example, from 5 years and above, you can actually use sulfates in their regime as a clarifying shampoo that you use every 4 to 6 weeks. If you've seen my daughter's wash day video, my eldest daughter, you will notice that I use a sulfate based shampoo in her regime, and I only use that shampoo every 4 to 6 weeks to clarify her hair. Now that has sulfates in there, but because I'm aware of the ingredient, I know that is a sulfate, so I know where to place it in her regime. So I know to place it in her regime every 4 to 6 weeks as a clarifying shampoo. So that's going to work as a deep cleansing shampoo that's going to remove all of that build up from her hair, build up from, you know, butters, oils, whatever I've put on her hair. It's going to remove all of that build up and help her to start on a clean slate again, so her hair can, you know, receive that moisture it needs. Another example of an ingredient is when it comes to identifying a true moisturizer. Are you able to identify a true moisturizer or leave-in conditioner, something that's actually going to soften and condition your little one's hair? So for example, a lot of you mistake butters and oils for moisturizers. Like a lot of you are using shea butters and oils to moisturize your, you know, your infants and your toddlers' hair. You can use that for your newborn, using an oil for your newborn's hair. Their hair is completely different, but as soon as their texture starts to change, you know, and their hair becomes more kinky, coily, and more drier, using oils isn't going to cut it. And the reason for that is because oils and butters are not moisturizers. They are going to create an oily film, for example, on your little one's hair to slow down the evaporation of water from their hair. So it's going to help with that moisture retention. But if you're using it as a moisturizer, you're going to find that your little one's hair is really dry. So when you're identifying a moisturizer based on ingredients, you want to see that the first or second ingredient is water. Water should be the first or second ingredient. Then you're going to see your conditioning agents, your oils, your butters, your fatty alcohols. These all make up a good true moisturizer, rather than a product that just has oils and butters in there. So as you can see, being able to identify certain ingredients will help you to identify products that you need in your little one's regime, and of course, most importantly, you'll be able to identify where to place that particular product based on the ingredients in your child's regime. Now, before we go into number 4, I want to remind you again that Crowned Mothers United, my membership, is open for enrollment today. If you're looking to be part of the winning team that is part of CMU, click the link below this video and enroll. I am looking forward to welcome you, and so are the other moms in the membership. We're looking to welcome you and cheer you on, support you, so you can achieve the results I know you want to achieve for your little one. And I also teach this natural hair success path in my membership. This actually makes the foundation of everything I teach in my membership, but I go into a whole lot more detail in the membership. Okay, so the 4th stage in my natural hair success path is the regime. Now, what kind of regime are you going to have for your little one? What are the components in your little one's regime? For example, how often are you going to shampoo your little one's hair? How often are you going to moisturize your little one's hair? What your hair care practice is going to be like. So nighttime protection, what are you going to protect your little one's hair with? Is it going to be with a satin bonnet, fitted sheet, pillowcase? Like, when are you going to detangle their hair? How are you going to detangle their hair? You know, all of these things are really, really important. How are you going to style their hair? Styling is also very, very important. We want to be doing tension-free styles. Also, what kind of regime are you going to have based on your child's age? Your newborn's regime isn't going to be the same as your infant's regime. So when I say newborn, I mean 0 to 3 months. Isn't going to be the same as your 6-month-old's regime, for example, because that newborn is very basic. You're hardly using anything in their regime, whereas a 6-month-old, their regime looks very different. You're most likely doing the LCO method, you're shampooing their hair, you're conditioning their hair with a rinse out conditioner afterwards. So their regime is different in comparison to a newborn. So what regime are you going to have for your little one based on their hair needs and also based on their age as well? It's really important to understand this so you're able to create an effective regime for your little one. So as you can see, having an effective regime is going to help your little one retain moisture as well as retain length. So this is really, really important that you sit down, write it down. You know what it says in the Bible? Write the vision down and make it plain. So write it down, write your little one's regime down. What are you going to be doing on a daily, weekly, monthly, bi-weekly basis? How often are you going to be doing certain things? Why are you doing certain things in their regime? Everything in your little one's regime should be geared towards moisture and length retention and just avoiding breakage, tension, anything that's going to take you away from moisture and length retention is key. And then the 5th and final stage in my natural hair success path is consistency and tracking your progress. Now, if you're consistent with your little one's hair, guess what? Consistency. If you're consistent with your little one's regime, guess what? You are going to achieve consistent results for your little one's hair. Consistency is super important. Consistency is key. I mean, with anything in life, if you're consistent, you are going to reap the rewards. You are going to reap the benefits. Also important that you're tracking your little one's progress. If you're not tracking their progress, for example, with pictures, how do you know they're making progress? I have so many moms, send me DMs, send me emails saying, my little one's hair isn't progressing. It looks like their hair is the same length. And then I ask them, how do you know this? How are you tracking their progress? And then the silence. They're not tracking it, so they think nothing's happening, whereas things are actually happening, but they don't have that proof. So I always say, when it comes to tracking your little one's progress, take pictures. take pictures so that you can look back at it in maybe 3 or 6 months, and I guarantee if you have an effective regime in place and you're following the 5 stages that I've mentioned, you will see amazing progress. But you have to make sure that you are tracking it so that when you do look back, you can see that your little one has actually made progress with their hair. And that is it, guys. Following my 5-stage natural hair success path is going to help you to achieve moisture and length retention for your little one and overall healthy hair. I hope you found this video helpful, NC fam. If you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and share with anyone you feel may benefit from watching. Take care. Bye.